Good evening, dear friends. Bon appetit to everyone who is eating, but I'm going on air and appearing on your YouTube screens, not just like that. Today's extreme episode, our task is to finally improve the blood supply to our brain and free the already sleepy artery. Before this, we saved the vertebral artery with you, but it turns out the carotid artery is also not in the best situation. What's interesting on this picture, you'll find out soon. The artery gives up. It turns out the carotid can also give up just like the vertebral. Have you noticed that with age, vision is not so clear? Not such a blue sky, the sun already shines more gloomily, the mood is worse, hearing is also worse. Birds no longer sing so cheerfully, and their singing has been replaced by noise in the ears. A whistle that annoys you. More than it cheers, also the taste has become not so bright, and the ice cream that you ate at school seems tastier to you than the one that is sold today for 5 rubles. No, friends, all this is a decrease in acuity, a decrease in the function of our organs of feelings. Why does this happen? Because our carotid artery stops fully supplying you with the necessary amount of blood your brain needs to save it. Friends, before this video, measure the clarity of your vision and pay attention. That after we carry out this procedure with you, hearing, vision clarity, and taste will improve. You can also try something for taste. Yes, and after this procedure, you will be surprised that it will taste better. Even this video, I recommend you to send to your friends who have a brain and a carotid artery, because they will also get the same effect from this. It is necessary to know everyone. The thing is that our carotid artery is given up. These muscles can What muscles do you already want to know about? These muscles, you probably haven't even heard their name. It's the musculus stylohyoideus and the musculus digastricus posterior. Or more precisely, it's the styloid process, the sublingual muscle, and the posterior belly. 2 abdominal muscles. Where are they located? You already want to know. I see it in your eyes. The styloid process of the hyoid bone, the sublingual bone. Styloid process of the temporal bone, sublingual bone. Here they connect them. 2 muscles from which many problems arise, about which we know very little so far. What is a suture branch at all? The suture branch is such a formation on our skull, on our occipital bone. Here you see such a formation. This is the suture branch, but here it is small. It can be of different sizes. It can be 3, 4, and 1.9685 inches. And for some, it goes all the way here, right to the jawbone. It connects with it. It used to be thought that such a situation is possible only when the hyoid bone itself is enlarged in size. But with the development of science, technology, and magnetic resonance imaging, it turned out that it is not related to the enlargement of the hyoid bone, which can be congenital, can occur with age due to ossification, the proximity of the hyoid lingual ligament. Very often situations occur even with the standard size of the hyoid bone. The hyoid lingual muscle itself, here I am, you see, I marked it with a black color. Naturally, it's thinner than here. Here it is. And above, here, over it, here it is located, here it goes. This is already a double muscle. And between these muscles, right here, it goes, in this gap, here is the carotid artery. Here are already possible variants, depending on who has what. Anatomical features. The external carotid artery may give way. It's not so scary. The internal one may give way. That's scary. Or both may give way, which is also not very fun. What are the consequences? The consequences are sad, up to severe cerebral circulation disorders. It's called a stroke, ischemic, hemorrhagic, ischemic in this case. But we won't let this happen to you. We didn't gather here with you just to get strokes. You're not scared by this, are you? Our task is to avoid all this. And first of all, we need to introduce you to these muscles more closely. You should know your enemy by sight, the one who surrenders, wants to surrender our carotid artery to you. So let's take a closer look at them. Here are these two muscles. Here it is, the posterior belly. The double muscles are here. And here are the stylohyoid muscles. These two muscles are located here. They are right here behind the angle of the lower jaw. I remove them here. They are visible here. These two muscles, do you see? Here without the jaw, we will look at them, and between them, look between these two muscles. And right here, we have arteries passing through. Right here it passes. We have the external carotid artery, and also the stylohyoid muscle is located right next to the internal carotid artery. And when they are shortened, when they spasm, our carotid artery begins to be compressed, which we need to release. Between these two muscles, the artery begins to be pinched, and it starts to get traumatized. A situation arises where, due to constant trauma, the artery wall begins to thicken, and the blood flow through the artery itself decreases. The artery itself can be pinched due to spasms of these muscles, and blood supply is disrupted. And against this background, atherosclerosis often develops at the site of injury. Friends, what should we do? How can we prevent this situation? How can we relieve the spasm of these two muscles and not let this artery get pinched? There is a way for this. Watch carefully, friends, when we perform this manipulation with you. By improving the blood supply to our brain, removing the spasm from these muscles, you may notice how your vision changes first. If someone has noise in their ears, it will either decrease or disappear. But he will have to repeat it a few more times, the same procedure. But first, pay attention. Look at the vision that it becomes clearer. In the comments, write what has changed for you after we now conduct this procedure with you. So friends, to affect these muscles, we need exactly this gap between the radial process and the angle of the jaw. It's quite small, but to get into it, we first need to find the sternocleidomastoid muscle, our first edge of this muscle, and the second orient. This is the back edge of the lower jaw. Right here. Look at this picture. We need this gap here. Here he is, a grown-up, and this is where we will be with you. We aim to get there. So friends, how can we affect this muscle? First of all, just like that, we can't reach it. We need to look. Find two anatomical with you. Education. The first is the pectoral clavicle scapular muscle, and the second is the angle of the jaw here. The back edge now you need. Turn your head to the left, for example. We turn. With the right hand, find the front edge of the pectoral clavicle scapular muscle, and the back edge. Here is the back corner of the jaw. Lower and straight between these two formations. With your finger, you need to palpate such a small area here, it will stretch for you. What you palpated here, this is your double muscle. Here it is. It is more outward, and you need to touch it first. Is it sick or not? From one side or the other side? Usually it's more sick on one side. And here, for example, if my right side is more sick, my head will turn worse to the left. Why is it worse to turn? Because this muscle starts to compress when it's stretched. When I turn my head, it starts to compress the carotid artery, and therefore my body doesn't let me turn my head further, so I don't compress the artery and fall right here. That's why we need to relax it with you. This tension in it needs to be removed. How do we do this? We turn your head with you. Put a finger on this gap between the jaw and the sternocleidomastoid muscle. And in this way, we press on this sick muscle with you and hold for 3 seconds and relax. Pressed again and relaxed. A turn is definitely needed. Without a turn, you won't reach this muscle. Pressed for 3 seconds and relaxed. It may be very painful the first time because the muscle, if it has never been touched, is very tense. Therefore, don't press too hard on it. The pain should be mild. You don't need to do this all at once. If you do this procedure over the course of a week, then it will loosen up for you. Press, relax. Press for 2-3 seconds, hold, relax. At this point, you may notice that your vision will start to clear right before your eyes. And if there was a noise in your ears, a hum, a squeak, a whisper, this too may pass. Simply put, don't overexert. If you put too much strain on a tense muscle, it can become inflamed. A swelling might appear there. And after that, the symptoms might intensify. You don't need this. Therefore, do it accurately the first time. To one side and to the other side, also pressed for 3 seconds, relaxed, pressed, and relaxed. And so, in this way, you relieve the spasm of these two muscles and improve the condition of your brain, relieve compression, relieve the constriction of your carotid artery. After you have performed this procedure, pay attention to how clear the colors around you have become. Try eating ice cream again. It will be tastier now. To all your acquaintances, friends, who have carotid arteries, who have a brain, here is the video I recommend you to send, share, so that they also improve their condition. Share in the comments what happened after you did this. And what? Let's go, get involved, train. We are waiting for the next video. We watch, we engage, we like, we comment. We engage in sports, we help parents, and until new broadcasts.